Hello, hi, welcome. I am Pratiksha Mishra, and you're listening to Do I Like It? A Quint production where we review anything and everything under the sun. And in this episode, I'm actually going to talk about Bollywood and Holi. Bollywood and Holi actually have a very important connection. क्यों? क्योंकि Holi most times becomes a main character in Bollywood films. होली का जो फेस्टिवल है मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ द अमाउंट ऑफ पीपल दैट आर शोन सेलिब्रेटिंग द आइडिया ऑफ फैमिली दैट कम्स बिहाइंड इट एंड सो मेनी अदर थिंग्स हैज बिकम अ प्लॉट पॉइंट इन सो मेनी इंडियन फिल्म्स. एक तो ले लो देखो सिलसिला. जो फैमिली का आइडिया होता है ऑफ इंडिया हैज़ बीन फॉर द लॉन्गेस्ट टाइम वेरी कंस्ट्रिक्टेड कि ऐसा हेट्रोसेक्सुअल फैमिली ऑर्डर है. And the man marries a woman, they have one child, they have two children. That is basically what happens. सब फैमिली में प्यार से रह रहे हैं, गले मिल रहे हैं, गुलाल उड़ा रहे हैं. That is what we see in Holi. But in films like Silsila, for example, or I think Aakhir Kyun is the film I'm thinking of, both these films use Holi as the place where we find out that the family structure is being broken, usually because of an extramarital affair. In Silsila, we see it happening between Amitabh Bachchan and Rekha's characters, Amit Malhotra and Chandni, if I'm not wrong. And in Aakhir Kyun, we see it happening between Rakesh Roshan's character Kabir and Tina Munim's character Indu. And in both of these, essentially the kind of romanticization, the kind of flirtatiousness, the kind of just the kind of sensuality that Holi music has had in Bollywood is used essentially to show you that these two characters on the screen obviously have so much chemistry. Then on the other hand, we have films like Darr and Damini. Damini is a courtroom drama basically, but the horrific catalyst actually of the story where we see the sexual assault of a woman happens during Holi, and they use the Holi festival, and essentially that sequence is a very crucial moment for the film. It's a huge plot change and is also pretty much a commentary on how consent, essentially about how consent is not followed. And it's a great point to bring up during a Holi song, because in Bollywood we see how a lot of Holi songs don't really respect the idea of consent. For example, the song in Darr has lyrics where the song is clearly like, oh, we'll do whatever you want. If you want, jaake rapat likha lo, right? And it's that kind of like careless attitude that we see towards consent that happens in a lot of other films also. There's that song called Go Pagal, which, I mean, in its naming itself, I have concerns, but it's, I think, in Jolly LLB too, where we also see where it kind of says कि गड़बड़ हो रही है तो हो जाने दे क्योंकि होली है. And it's just that thing of so many songs have बुरा ना मानो होली है, which has for a long time been used to kind of silence women who are saying that this is making us uncomfortable, or this is not something you should be doing during Holi. And Damini and Darr are both great examples of that, because we see how the main negative story plot point in Damini, it's what I talked about, and in Darr, it is Shah Rukh Khan's presence so close to the woman that he's obsessed with. That works. Then there are films like Sholay. Let's consider Sholay for an instance. In Sholay, Holi is a huge character because we see two things happening. एक तो we see कि जो जया बच्चन का character है, how her life has turned out, and it helps the main antagonist, Jay, played by Amitabh Bachchan, understand the story of this woman that he is essentially falling for. And at the same time, we see this trope of Bollywood cinema where we had this thing where widow characters could not essentially participate in Holi, because it's that thing that, if your husband is dead, then all color has left from your life. How can you play Holi? Something that has actually been kind of broken in Kati Patang. Kati Patang kind of has that part where in Holi, the main character brings in the widowed character to play Holi with them. It was revolutionary in cinema at that point, just for the sheer fact that they had included that in the film. But then again, you have to, like I was talking about consent, the film ka Holi ka name ka song is, I think, Aaj Na Chhodenge, which again, see, weird as hell. Then there are the songs that are clearly just romance. The Holi song in Toilet Ek Prem Katha is this place where the main character is trying to apologize to Bhumi Pednekar's character for everything that he has put her through. And then there's the song, which is personally one of my favorite Holi songs, is Lahu Mulak Gaya from Ram Leela, where we see the female character having some agency. We see her being in control of her sensuality. We see her being in control of the storyline at that point. And that's beautiful, because the way Ram and Leela interact during Lahu Muh Lag Gaya is just beautiful to watch because they clearly have such a good idea, good concept of consent and intimacy. And that's probably why I just love that song so much. And the song from Ranjana, and Ranjana is not a huge film that advocates for consent, but the song in Ranjana that is used for Holi is Tum Tak, if I'm not wrong, is such a huge romantic hit. I feel like any romantic playlist has that song in it. And that's when we see how Holi in itself has been associated with so many moods in Bollywood. It has been associated with the idea of family, like it happens in Bagban, is when Holi Khele Raghuvira, or if I think it's Hori Khele Raghuvira, is when the entire family has essentially come together, and it's where we see the family actually celebrating together, and we see the parents finally being happy, finally being with their kids, and the kind of resolution that happens during that song. And at the same time, with songs in movies like Darr and Damini, we see a more sinister side to the celebrations. And then there are songs like the ones in Mohabbatein, where we see a huge shift in plot, because Mohabbatein mein we see कि अमिताभ बच्चन का जो कैरेक्टर है वो shown as this stoic man who does not let his principles shake. He also, when he bends down to get that tika from Shah Rukh's character, it is a foreshadowing for how the film is going to turn out from there. And because of that and so much more, I mean, think of just in general, Holi songs are so big in our party scene. The song Jai Jai Shiv Shankar from War plays every year. Every year since its release is played in Holi. And so has songs like Rang Barse or Hori Khele Raghuvira or Balam Pichkari, I think, is a huge hit. Everyone loves Balam Pichkari. And that's the thing. Holi has been such a crucial aspect of Bollywood cinema for so long. And while there are so many plus points and negative points of Holi and Holi songs and how they've been portrayed in cinema for so long, clearly it's something that we're not going to ever see leaving Indian cinema. And fair enough. I feel like, okay, maybe as stories evolve, we might see lesser songs happening. We might see lesser typical Holi celebrations as we see on Bollywood happening. But for the near future, Holi as a festival is here to stay in Indian cinema. And that is an exciting prospect if we fix the things that we're doing wrong. So finally, that was all for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any thoughts about Holi and how it is shown in Bollywood cinema, I would love to hear them out. Hit me up on social media. Comment on my post or tweet at me. Let's discuss. Let's talk about it. I would love to hear from you. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. And I hope you have a wonderful, safe, and healthy Holi. And please remember, just because you want to play Holi does not mean that everyone around you wants to play Holi. So ask. Always ask. Do I Like It is a Quint production, executive produced by Ritu Kapoor and Shelly Walia, hosted by me, Pratiksha Mishra, produced and edited by Pratik Lidhu, with music from PMG Production. See you next time. And again, happy Holi.
You were listening to the Quint's podcast.